Hi, I'm Jeff Yarbrough. We're here at the beautiful WKNO studios here in Memphis, Tennessee, visiting with one of our favorite Memphis people, Mr. Donald Meyers. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming.
We've got a beautiful display of photographs and paintings that you've done over about how long a span do we have here?
About 20 years.
20 years worth of work?
Yeah, I've had some exhibits in Chicago, Nashville, Little Rock, and now Memphis. And this is pretty much what I've taken from my garage studio and put up on the walls, and I'll have another exhibit in the fall, hopefully. But I enjoy having everybody out, and I enjoy painting and doing photography.
Well, that's great. Tell us just a little bit about, let's talk about your artwork here first, but then let's delve into the acting world, because I think that's where a lot of us Memphians know you from, is seeing you on screens here and there. Is this what you said was your favorite piece?
Well, it's one of my favorite pieces. I'm kind of influenced by the western part of the country. And when I was younger, I had an interest in architecture, and Frank Lloyd Wright was one of my heroes. And this was a scene called, this was one of his scenes that he had. He had a home built right in front of this landscaped background. It was called Taliesin West. And I was a big architectural fan in Chicago of his. And that's what I wanted to do mostly, but I couldn't handle the math part of it, so I flunked out of architecture and got into art instead. But I always had these wonderful scenes of the West in mind. Every time I think of Frank Lloyd Wright, I think of his home in Taliesin West in Arizona. And this is kind of what prompted me to paint this.
And all these pieces are for sale, is that correct?
Yeah, they're all for sale, photography and art and sketches. I'll be here till the 28th of June. Yeah.
So you can come by here at the WKNO studios and purchase one of these works of art. And let's talk just a little bit about your acting. Tell us briefly how long you've been into the acting side.
Oh, probably longer than I want to admit. 40 some years. I started out at the Goodman Theater of Art, or Theater of Drama in Chicago, which is an extension of the Art Institute. And we put on plays like Diary of Anne Frank, Bell, Book and Candle. And I think I was like 22 or 24 when we actually did these plays. And it was a great learning experience. And I did a couple of small films in Chicago. But mostly I was a creative director for ad agencies there. I worked for Playboy, and I worked for ad agencies like Leo Burnett and Wells, Rich and Green. And I got my art training actually on the job doing commercials, writing some commercials and doing some filming and actually casting. And then met my first wife, who was interested in the same things I was, and we got together and did projects together and decided to move to Little Rock, where it was a little less hectic than Chicago. And I did the same thing in Little Rock, and we finally ended up in Hollywood, where she became a screenwriter. We divorced, she moved on, I moved on, but we were always friends. And she wrote a lot of screenplays and things like that, and I helped her with the concepts. And at the same time, she auditioned me in a lot of things she was writing for, so I got a chance to be in a lot of little films and some things like that. So my acting experience started, maybe 40 years ago, but it's continuing today.
So I know there's a Memphis Film Prize coming up, and I think you have hands in several different projects there.
Well, I've done a couple of cameos for some people, but the one that we're really proud of is the one that you are doing the photography for, the cinematography for, called Ruling the Golden Years. And young lady standing over there, Denise, wrote it. And we're hoping that we're going to have this thing finished and, maybe be a contender.
There we go. So what does the future look like for you? What do you want to do tomorrow, next week?
Continue to do what I'm doing, painting and being in people's films. I'm doing some of my own.
That's good. Do you have any of yours that you have on the drawing board right now?
I have a couple of scripts that I want to finish, and then maybe have one starting up to film in fall. Yeah.
Well, y'all come check it out. WKNO Studios right here. You can see many lovely paintings, works of art, and some photography. And you can catch Mr. Donald Meyers on Facebook and probably get information about his works of art here at the WKNO Studios.
Thanks for being here.